Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the RTS League. This is the semifinals. And this is WKT, the Walker team, versus UCA, the Uncrappables. I'm Colonel JJ, and I am excited, just like T-Mac, call 911, for a fantastic match. The other semifinals, which I already did, was action-packed, fast-paced, a lot of fun games, and we're going to have more tonight. And we're going to move right into the games in the interest of time. I am good. How are you? Good to have you on board. It is almost the 4th of July around here, which is almost United States birthday. And people outside right now, even though it's only the 2nd, are lighting off fireworks. Probably about to wake up my kids. I have a problem with fireworks. I just hope they're in these games because that's going to be awesome. But we're going to get right into it. Game number 1. We'll be seeing some of the same maps as last time, but because we have a couple preset maps. But we'll get into that as we get into the games, and we'll also talk a little bit more about the clans. Game number 1, UCA versus WKT. And this should be on a Tropical Mirage. And it is, because this is the preset map here. OG90J also on board. Alright, so Tropical Mirage, if you watched the last cast between DOD and F2, is this map. Pretty wide open map, kind of like a Savannah with a little bit more reliable high hunt, which makes it pretty fast-paced, which is why we see a lot of pretty quick rating civs. So that's probably what we see here. But let's take a look at the players, and we're on the right side of the map, which is the Walker team, a clan that's been around for a couple years now, maybe a few more than a couple. They've played in a few RTS League seasons. They've made it to the playoffs before, but I don't even know if they ever made the semifinals before. They've been close, and here they are in the semifinals, obviously hoping to win. We've got Ulysses, who has kind of come into his own lately. A player who maybe a couple years ago wasn't, wasn't bad, but he wasn't anything spectacular. Now he's pretty good, and he normally plays Zeus, and here he is playing Zeus. The other player is Aya, or Aya. He playing Loki. Aya, or Aya, however you want to call him, is one of the best team players that plays. He's also one of the best 1v1 players. The problem is you just don't see a lot of him because he doesn't play a lot of tournaments. So here he is, Loki and Zeus so far. And then the third player is Miracle Man, who is WKT's guest player. Every clan's allowed a guest player to kind of help activity. He used to play for JSS, who won... Oh, did they win one season? Maybe two, but it's been a while. But he's a pretty solid Aranos player. Maybe not as active as he used to be, but he's pretty top level. So all three of these players are really good. I'd say Miracle Man is maybe the weakest of the three, but he's still pretty good. And that's WKT. Over here is UCA, the Uncrappables. We've gotten Domantas playing Aranos. Typically, he's a Hades player. Really solid team game player. Decent at 1v1, but more, I'd say, of a team player. You got Matrius. Everybody knows Matrius, one of the best Poseidon players. Has been around for a few years. He's their pocket player, and he's good in 1v1. He's also good in team games. And that'll be tough. And then the other player is I Kill, You Die, playing Odin. Plays a variety of gods, a lot of Aranos, sometimes Ra. Here he is with Odin. You'd recognize I Kill and Matrius from maybe the Champions League games, but I Kill maybe wasn't very active and didn't do so well this season. Season 1 he did well, so he's a top player, just recently hasn't been super active. OG90J said he's the best Odin player. We'll see how it goes today. But let's talk about the matchups here as far as civs. A little bit more variety than what we saw the last game between Dot and F2. We've got Poseidon, Aranos, Odin, versus Uranus, Zeus, Loki. So we've got the same cultures. Just instead of an Odin, there's a Loki. Instead of a Poseidon, there's a Zeus. I feel like the Loki and the Zeus are a little bit better picks than the Odin and the Poseidon, but it's pretty close. I think really it's about the same. I think you'd probably rather have the Loki as a pocket, and he is, because then the Loki is going to be safer for longer and to get on all of this hunt. We did see all of these players have started aging up. We have a Hermes. We have a Freya as well. Prometheus, Forseti, Hermes, 2 Hermes. So no restoration for Ulysses as he gets a relic. What did he get? Minus 10% myth unit cost. Now here's one thing I will say. Zeus centaurs are tough to deal with as Odin. And that is why we see I Kill You Die really walling up, because he is afraid of getting wrecked by some early Hermes. Now I hope he notices that there is a a pretty obvious path through the berries, so maybe he's got a plan to like build something there, but despite the walling, there's a hole here. There might even be, I think this is closed up, but yeah, this is wide open. As we see, the Valk is going to go forward, and depending on where it goes, we'll probably get insta bolted, which is pretty common. Got 2 wood lines here. We've got the Odysseus coming out already. Do we see... No, oh yeah, we already see Jason and Aya as well coming forward, and now we might have a problem here with the fact that there is no wall. As we see the Sentinel, there's a Centaur coming in. We did have the bolt used on the Valkyrie, I believe, or yep, the Valk was bolted. And now we're already at a pretty rough spot here, and oh, this is brave. Getting an early town center like this from Miracle Man, because that could really put him behind Domintas. But yeah, definitely we're going to have Matrius going to have to come up here to defend against the Loki Hersier. But here's the difficulty, is that once Matrius shows up here with all of his units, if WKT wanted, they could just kind of run out of here and eventually like switch the fight down to the bottom. But oh man, we already saw Miracle Man losing a citizen down here. I missed it, but it's dead, and that is not good. It looks like a shockwave was used to secure the kill. So that's great, as we see Ikill taking another loss there of another Hersier. And without any heroes up here, just one Hersier, this Radiant Cavalry really confused. There's a lot of myth units here and just one Hersier. That's going to be tough for I Kill You Die to defend this, especially because he's already been pushed off of Hunt. There's some Hunt back here, but I think he's a little afraid to go to it. But yeah, I'm surprised to see Miracle Man grabbing a second town center here, because that's really risky in an Uranus mirror, because it's hard to maintain that early army production to actually support 2 town centers. We see the temple has been destroyed. Now a house is getting destroyed. Now, you might look at these Hippocon and be like, oh, they're cavalry. They'll do fine against Centaur. That's not really the case. I mean, they have 25% pierce armor, which is okay, but the special attacks always hit. And we can see like how far this cavalry lost hit points in just one little volley here. And does Domitas know about this up here? He's got to be careful. Not lose some units. We do see Domitas also grabbing a town center and coming up to Aya, trying to find some villagers. Should have this in his line of sight. And now we see Aya is switching sides. This is kind of what I talked about, where once the Greek shows up here, Aya can switch sides, and oh, is he gonna see this? Okay, the villagers are running away preemptively. The Hippocon is kind of taking the Hersier way. Oh, they might path into the villagers anyway. Oh, they stopped. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Okay, they're gonna keep on running. And it looks like they'll get back to base safe, but that's a lot of walking time that was spent to come up here, and they just got here. And now they got to run all the way back, and that hurts. We see 3 players getting husbandry at the same time. That's kind of cool. That does fatten up the goats quicker. And oh no, Daumentas has been trying to build this town center for a very long time. And do we have a shockwave available? Miracle Man could shockwave this and guarantee a citizen kill. Chooses not to. I think we should see Aya come down there too. So he is getting a nice little raid on the villagers here. Gets a troll spawn, maybe not exactly what he wanted, but he's got a Valk too. So without our, well, there's Hippolyta up here. And now Aya being a little bit overzealous with his army, I feel like, and lost a lot of Hersier there on the way out. Where I think he should have just ran down here. Maybe could have prevented that. See a little raid over here, but nothing going. Raiding cavalry are looking. And oh, Kill is still getting pummeled down here by the Zeus. He so far hasn't found any villagers to raid yet. We see his raiders up here. They found a unoccupied granary. But yeah, we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villager kills right there, and now we're on a gonna have a hard time staying at this gold mine. We see throwing axemen that just absolutely get demolished by Centaur, and I Kill You Die is in a rough spot. Domitas grabbing a 3rd town center now. Looks like Miracle Man might be grabbing his soon as well. You see him clearing out the vision. And we saw a big raid back here. Get on an ox cart. That's really, really good. There's a lot of idle time here. But we've got Aya bringing in the next ox cart. So not the end of the world. Raiding cavalry will probably loot down here. As we see Ulysses using ceasefire. I wish I could say I know why he used ceasefire. But I don't know. I'm guessing this was a misclick. Because he was all over I Kill You Die. And has used ceasefire for some unknown reason. I'm really not sure why. We see Breaky coming up for Aya. I do believe he is the only one to be aging up, and he's also grabbing a forward town center. Hello, Swoop Hoop, and Jonas or Jonas Lozano. Look at this. Yeah, this ceasefire had to have been a misclick. I don't know why he would have grabbed it or cast it. There's no reason for that. The raiding cavalry. Now he knows the villagers are down here. These raiding cavalry really should have swooped in to come down here. And we have Thea coming in for Domintas. But I Kill is so far behind. We can see he has to mine gold all the way down there. He's trying to build a wall. Not quite completed. He's going to lose a ton of throwing axemen here. Shoot. And somehow these hoplites just decided to run right through it, which actually maybe isn't good. Well, okay, they just get to run. Yeah, that was a pretty rough cease. We see some raiding calves getting punched, and they're going for the raid here, but uses kind of a panic forest fire that's not going to do anything. They can see that these raiding cavalry are stuck. And yeah, Centaurs just deal so well with raids. Look how much. Like, I Kill has basically done nothing. And not his fault. I mean, it's up against Zeus, and he got doubled early by Aya. The Poseidon a little slow to defend, which I think is kind of natural. And I don't know how he's going to defend this. I mean, there's no Where are the Hippocon? Because they aren't here. And here comes Frost Giant. Oh, man. So here's Matrius' ceasefire. His Hippocon are all the way down here, trying to do something on the bottom side of the map. Oh, they got in a massive raid on Aya's gold. Oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could count. 13 dwarf carcasses here along with the ass cart. So this is what Matrius was doing. But I don't think that's enough because of how far behind iKill is. I mean, oh, that was a raid of raids, but iKill is so far behind. I mean, he's not even close to aging up. Okay, he's not terribly far away, but I mean, how's he going to get the extra food unless it's distributed? These villagers have no idea where to go. He is mining here. Like, the only thing that could maybe save him was if he's able to get a frost soon. I don't know where Ulysses went. Okay, his army is just out of here. Yeah, that raid was worth it, I would say. The problem is I don't think... Oh, this is not a good fight, though. This, there's not... You need to have the myth units with your Hersier here. So even with flaming weapons, there's not enough of them. And we had a curse that was used up here on a lot of units. And that raid is obviously limiting any sort of reinforcements from Aya. Now, and the Mountain Giant is foolishly attacking the Longhouse. Needs to get on the town center. But this is going pretty decently for not as good as it could. The problem is there's just so many myth units. As another battle boar shows up. And there's just no way to deal with it all. I mean, look at all these myth units, and there's just not enough heroes. And that is going to be the base down. As what do we got going on down here? I mean, this is Aranos versus Aranos. So we do have Domantas with maybe a slight lead down here. But yeah, Odin Greek, you're right, cannot deal with myth unit spam. Especially in once the Greek reaches age 3, it's a little bit better because that age 3 hero is so good. But before that, it's so hard to do. As now they're not in a great position, are the centaurs here? Now they got to run back. But yeah, I mean, with all these myth units here, there's just not enough to defend this. Here comes Atalanta. Gotta come in here. I mean, she can really catch up, and if you don't pay attention, she can clean up so many myth units here, but her fighting Jason isn't what you want her to do. And Domantas looks to be in a really good spot here on the bottom, getting fortified town center. I mean, the only chance they have is this Domantas is somehow able just to wipe the bottom here, but there's just not enough units to do crush damage to this town center, and I think Miracle will be able to defend for a while. Well, the Greek heroes, they're really good early on because they're so strong against all units. But especially like in classical age, once the enemy gets like a pretty large myth unit spam, it is tough for Greek to deal with it. I wouldn't really say they're overrated. I think a lot of their value is in fighting normal units, especially early on in the classical age. We got a bird battle here. This is so foul. And the attack on the town center. But that's all well and good, but basically Matrius has to fight a 2-on-1, and he's behind. So this is kind of pointless because they're all dead up here. I mean, I don't know what iKill is going to do because you can't do them. Can't do anything. And yeah, this game looks about over. We did have an age up for Miracle Man, who looks like he may end up defending this, maybe? A lot of units into an age up, or a lot of resources into an age up when he's losing. Look at all these units go flying. Like, he probably would have maybe been better just to stay age 2 or age 3, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. His allies are doing work. And that is destroyed. And Matrius up against a 2-on-1. We've got a bronze used by Ulysses. Now, bronze doesn't affect heroes, so the hearse here aren't getting the benefit of bronze. We don't have... Where are the Greek heroes? And now we have a vortex used by Miracle Man to come in here. Since he's kind of lost this already, he doesn't, he's just going for the kill. Because if Matrius is down, it doesn't matter that Miracle Man is losing his side. I mean, once Matrius goes down, which he will. We've got all these hoplites still pounding away at the town center. You can see the heroes trying to get trained, but town center's going down. Shockwave gets used. And boom, shakalaka. There goes that town center. It is down in flames. We've got I kills the remnants of I kills civilization having to run away. Guess he's got a few dwarves here. And yes, the Atlantean matchup is something that can seem close and then all of a sudden just completely tilt in one direction. And I'm not sure what Domitas is doing right at this present moment. He is aging up Helios. Where did an army go? Not really sure. Did they die? He's not doing a whole lot. And Matrius is dead. I'm kind of surprised that UCA hasn't resigned yet. I guess they're holding on for something, as we see an earthquake has been used right here. Earthquake on Atlanteans is so strong, so that town center is down. I mean, if... It's an if. It's a big if. But if I Kill wouldn't have gotten rolled so quickly, this could have been kind of a winning push, potentially, for UCA. But what does it matter? I Kill died so soon in this game. It's just over. And we've got Nidhogg used down here, and Matrius is down to 0. Town centers. Nothing going on. I'm not sure why we aren't seeing resigns, so I will fast forward this. There we are. And we have a lightning storm used over here just for funsies, and that is it. Game 1 goes to WKT in dominating fashion. I did not expect such a easy victory. I felt like these two teams were pretty closely matched, with UCA probably having the edge just because they play a ton of team games. But I really don't know if this is their best lineup here. I think they've got some other players that could maybe do a little bit better. I Kill, he's in a rough spot here against a Zeus and gets doubled early by the Loki. The Poseidon just can't keep up with that, which is why I like the Loki in the pocket, because the Loki can pressure so quickly despite being pocket, whereas the Poseidon is going to be a little bit slower to defend. We see in exactly a 20-minute game here. And Domitas with a performed well for his team, but I Kill you die just in tough spot there. Man, that raid on the villagers on the bottom, holy cow, I lost so much. That was a fantastic raid. I think it's worth it at the expense of having to use a ceasefire. The problem is IQ was just dead already. That's just a rough matchup. I'd like to say I would know what to do there. I think you almost have to rush Heroic Age. The problem is he never went to his back hunt. He probably could have gone to it, because I don't know if this hunt got checked early on. But because IKill moved off of hunt so quickly, he was never able to reach Heroic Age and ended up just getting pummeled. We'll move on to game number 2. This will be UCA's home map. Will we see a Nyan Racing Cat? Yeah, I mean, the tough thing there is the Zeus facing off against the Odin. Yes, if your Odin is here and the Zeus is here, or not the Zeus, if the Odin is here and the Poseidon is up here, this game does play pretty differently. Oh, and RyFang, if you want, I don't know if you watch these games live, but you can join me on the Discord if you so desire. If not, that's okay too. One game though. As we move on to game number 2. UCA's home map is Anatolia. Well, we saw this before. Alright, what are we looking at? We're looking at WKT on the bottom. We've seen a few new players coming in. Down on the bottom. Aya, though, he's the same. He's playing Ra, and Aya's Ra is fantastic. Really good. But hold on here. Before we get into this game, I'm going to get stuff ready for my good bud RyFang to join me. So hold on. Bear with me. We will get him into the Discord here, and he can watch the recorded game with me, because I like having someone to talk to. I don't know about you guys. I know obviously I'm talking to you guys, but it's a little bit different having, the voice. Someone I could bounce ideas off of. So let's see. We will get into the old boys team chat. And I need to share my screen. Oh. I need to share my screen. Yep. With the lowest possible settings. And it is ready. So it is a little bit late. We'll kind of get going into this while we wait for RyFang to continue on. I mean, this is the beginning part, so it's kind of boring anyway. And okay, he's switching over to the boar here. But oh, hold on. I do need to switch my overlay, do I not? Okay, let me know if there's any problems in the chat. Or any problems, let me know in the chat. But our pocket player is Gaia Skyfire. So keep in mind that these players knew what map is coming here. UCA picked it, so they have to declare it. So you have a black screen. Do you really have a black screen? You do. Alright, well you can see me. That's really all that matters. I like you guys. Alright. Okay, so we've got Gaia as our pocket. And we've got Zeus as our flank, so to speak. I mean, Anatolia is a little bit of a weird map, where being the pocket flank is a little bit different, like from a normal map, I suppose. But I like Gaia here. Don't underestimate the value of the trees. Their gather rate is really good. It saves storehouse. It saves walking time. The Gaia is really good. The only problem is, though, you really don't want your Gaia or your Uranus or your Kronos as the middle in Anatolia, because these fat villagers take so long for them to run. Like we can see, he's just at one fishing ship, whereas like the other players already got, multiple docks, multiple fishing ships out. But anyway, that's WKT, our top team here. They have picked this map. They're wishing to avenge their game 1 a loss. We got Matrius again. He's also Poseidon. Our pocket player is Domantas, who's Hades. played a good Oranos the first game, and now we switched to Hades. He's also good with Hades. And then we have Swiss Boy switching in for I kill, you die. Or as someone said, maybe you kill, I die, which is kind of what happened the first game. But we got Swiss Boy here, who's been more active than I kill lately. So it's probably for the better. But to remind myself, we've got Zeus, Ra, Gaia against Hades, Poseidon, Loki. I will say, having a Gaia and facing a Loki can be pretty scary. I'd like to see the Loki forward building. And he is. Because he can do some damage to the pocket Gaia here. And that's the scary part of going Gaia, is that yes, Gaia is great on water maps, has a lot of benefits that maybe Oranos doesn't give, but Gaia also struggles against any sort of early pressure and doesn't have any way to make heroes. You also have a problem where your ally is Ra, so you have a little bit of a dilemma here of what do you do on this side. I'm assuming that the Gaia is going to try to fight water, maybe, and the Ra player will defend and maybe Fish Boom, but I don't like the Fish Boom here from Aya, who's actually kind of path blocked himself here. These fishing ships, this one's trying to leave. These two are trying to drop off, and they're stuck. So now we've sorted it out. But yeah, there's not a super big boat boom here from Aya, because the Gaia player is kind of hogging it all. And I don't like... I'd rather the Gaia build forward and the Egyptian move back here. What's my prediction? Well, based on game one, I'm thinking WKT will win this series 3-1. Because game one was not close. But I think this could be a pretty easy win for UCA. Because what we can see here, if you watched DOD versus F2 matchup, where in that game we had the F2 Loki going forward and just absolutely wrecking. I think it's going to be the same thing here, because the Hades here can defend pretty easily, I think. And the Loki is just free to have a huge fish, free fish, which results in all of this. And you have a Gaia that's going to struggle against any myth units. A Ra player that is going to want to help out up here. But if he helps out up here... Oh, eats. Oh no, he canceled it! Get out of there! Run while you still can! Oh no, the Carnivora canceled its swallow because it retargeted the house. So, the Skryling was like given a second chance at life. It's like a cat. Gets out of there. And in the end, does kill a house. Could have eaten a Skryling, but no big deal. But this is scary, because your Ra player can't help and fight water at the same time. Does have a ton of docks, though. And a Wadjet forward to help defend this. The Minotaur just roaming in to get pounded. Ooh, okay, he's dead. And this will be some problems here. Probably attacking the tower to get some favor. I would have rather just seen these Hearse here maybe just get on some villagers. We see a Shifting Sands. They gotta run them out. We don't have Hall of Thanes yet. But, yeah, I mean, this is about all the help you're gonna get from your pocket Ra here. I'm assuming what Aya's hoping to do is probably reach Heroic Age and be able to help out later on, but that's going to be tough. I mean, in the end, the Shifting Sand, just a little bit of a delay, killed one Hearse here, and that's about it. We've got Elmontas fighting. This is going to be about even. But, yeah, we need to see Hall of Thanes, and we need to see More aggression on this. Could potentially, though, also see some aggression against the Poseidon, because the Poseidon is all in on water against Matrius. So no, not Poseidon. The Zeus is all in against the Poseidon, which does leave him wide open to raids here, which could flip the Matrius Ulysses matchup into Matt's favor pretty quickly. He just has to watch out. We do have a restoration for Ulysses. The Hades player also has a resto. And now we see a massive raid on the gold mine here. And oh, Ulysses has not noticed. Now he notices. And we saw quite a few villagers die already. Oh, nice building block. Oh, I like it. Might result in a few more villagers. Oh, there's so many that are low hit points. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. And this should allow Matrius to just go forward and punish. And we have some really annoying walling on the back. Is Skyfire active? I think so, maybe? I mean, he's playing. And, oh, okay, we have a restoration used here. Okay. That'll do well against, I mean, the Hades should be able to kind of hold/win this. The problem is getting through all the docks here is really hard. We have Swiss Boy grabbing a forward town center. And now that the guy is here to help out, we have to have the Herstier run away. But I think the damage has been done as we see this huge blob of green on the map. 17 boats versus 18. But Matrius should be up. They can resources by quite a bit. And we can see, ooh, a little bit of bad pathing here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. RyFang is in the has joined me as we start getting into the exciting stage of this game where Swiss Boy looks like he's kind of...
I don't think this is going to be an exciting game. I think you spoke about it early on with the Loki being like safe water and then against a guy and just, yeah, doubling blue to win that matchup. And just eventually once the Loki hits heroic, the guy is dead. So
yeah,
I like game one. I think the gods kind of decide the game more than anything.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say the gods. I think it's a little bit more of the positioning as we see restoration used here. You really want your Gaia to be on the edge, as the pocket is really rough because she's so bad at like reinforcing. Well, you can see these Kira Ballista here just getting picked off. I mean, that's 400 resources right there. But you'd probably rather have, well, either your Ra or your Zeus in the pocket, because it's just a slow walk to the edge to get that first dock out, and then you can't...
Gaia front on water and not back on water.
Like, yeah, you'd rather
the
Gaia...
Loki would be doubling the Gaia no matter what, kind of taking the Gaia focus away from water. Honestly, I think the Gaia should have still fought water to some extent. I know the Loki's dangerous on land, but I think you need the Gaia fighting water here to stand a chance.
Maybe.
That's where the Gaia kind of excels.
I mean, your power...
Taking the Gaia's strong point out of the game.
Your power is WKT, is the Ra popping off. And you're kind of right. If the Ra has to fight so hard in water...
The Ra fighting the water battle against the Greek with the range and the restoration.
Yeah, that's not good. So then you're really delaying your Ra pop-off point here. And we've got Swiss Boy. I mean, Loki on Anatolia is pretty scary. As we got Ulysses.
The other thing, like you've shown earlier with the picks of the ballista, is the guy is not very good at chasing.
No.
Like the Murmelo don't get the bonus damage. You're almost better off at having the Egyptian, as slow as the Axemen are. At least they get the bonus damage if they were to catch the Loki.
Yeah,
and can do damage pretty quick.
Because like
chasing the Loki is just the Loki laughing at the Gaia.
Yeah, because now we have the Gaia army showing up, and like, yay, it's here, and now like the Loki will probably move over to the Gaia. And by the time the Loki gets down here, the Gaia army will be about here. As we see now, we have Matrius just completely winning water.
The Loki's heroic, send in 2 battle boars, and then the army with flaming weapons, and the guy is dead. It's just...
Okay, he's just going to come in. Oh, see, Swiss Boy missing a little bit of an opportunity here.
Don't need to play defensive. Just send the boar to tank TC fire, go in and flaming weapons, and the guy is like dead.
Yeah.
Especially with them out of position at
I
his
mean,
teammate's base.
For Flaming Weapons is gonna win this, especially as long as these Kira Ballistas stay shooting at the myth units, and we have a curse that's also used, and Ulysses has not a single military unit to defend this. And now we have the Hersier with Flaming Weapons in on the Kira Ballista.
No, you've got flaming weapons, one of the strongest god powers in the game, and you're spending it building a hill fort, which you don't even need units from. Like, I don't.
Right. Yeah, I think
Not
though.
love its flaming weapons.
No, I mean he should have just gone straight. He should have just ran straight to the Atlantean.
Exactly. If you see high-level Lokis, like I think Sun Tzu from the Champions League is really great at this in the Atlantean matchup. You send in a battle board or two to tank the TC fire, and then send your heroes in with flaming weapons on the Atlantean, and they have to fight it is the key.
And
The way you counter flaming weapons is getting like running away or not having to fight it, but if you tank the TC fire and the Atlantean and force the fight, then the flaming weapons is that much more effective.
This poor Wadjet just disappeared in the blink of an eye. Oh man, these Hersier just popped out and got right on top. And yeah, we saw Aya come over and defend. Now Aya is at 4 town centers right now. Still defending water, which the Greek have the advantage, but when you start fighting underneath the Egyptian docks, it's really hard to push through. And yeah, I feel like Swiss kind of threw a lot of his advantage here. But he's still so far ahead, and here's Artemis.
If I'm Swiss, I just probably didn't expect it being on the top of the map, but Aya sending those axemen during the flaming weapon probably just saved the game. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We've got Domintas is already mythic. I have a curse used. Where do you use the earthquake?
Just delay flaming weapons 1 minute. Earthquake flaming weapons on the Atlantean.
Oh. So earthquake to level a lot of buildings.
Here.
But the town center still stays up. But, I mean, Ulysses, though, is so far behind. But, yeah. I see. I know what you're saying, because, yeah, like...
Force shifted the water battle now.
It's perfectly done. This could have just been, like... The guy probably could have been wiped by now. But UCA is still really far ahead just from that early advantage that the Loki got. I mean... Matrius has got water. The Hades player has been on touch so far. We've got a little bit of a raid here in the middle. And we've got a rain being used.
Aya's been no damage because he's been having to help the whole time.
Yes.
So it's not like he's been hitting the Loki economy and kind of gonna pop off. He's kind of the opposite in that he's had to go help his teammates top, so he's not even safely defending himself.
Yeah, because you'd like to have him...
UCA clearly has this game.
You'd like to see Aya, like, by now starting to knock on Swiss Boy's base. Because, I mean, look at Swiss Boy's base. There's, like, legit nothing here. Like, if Aya were up here with, like, maybe even advancing, like, by tornado already, he could, like, be just completely wiping this out. And, yeah, you'd still have a scary Loki forward here, but
even just chariots on the Loki's gold. The Loki can't defend his gold when he's across the map, so chariot raid on his gold would be insane. But again, Aya's just I don't think he even has chariots out on the map.
And we have a rain that's not really blocking any important god powers, as this town center does barely go down. But now so we've seen Swiss Boy has kind of been fighting a 2-on-1 and almost a 3-on-1 here for a bit. And now we're starting to see Matrius funneling in Hippicon, which will make it tough for...
Free Fish Boom Greek is gonna... No, he's just gonna out-tech Ucili's tenfold with the free Fish Boom and the TCs and the untouched eco versus what Ucili's has dealt with the whole game.
We've got Domintas in really good shape here. I don't even... He's not really even in position to even defend Domintas, as they have finally lost water on the bottom. And Ulysses is way behind. And it's just Jeff. Thank you for the host. Appreciate it. Hope things are well for you. But eco upgrades, what are we looking at? Ooh, nothing too great. But yeah, at this point, something miraculous would have to happen for UCA to come back. Because I feel like Aya's about to lose his forward base. And maybe even his second town center up here as well, as we see a Nidhogg come flying in by Swiss Boy. And there's not a whole lot of heroes, just the Odysseus. So this guy could have some fun. He comes flying over the wood line here to burninate the countryside. No, we do. I guess the bird, though, will really take care of it.
Those birds do so much damage.
They do. It's almost not fair. You got this really scary-looking dragon with humongous antlers. And one bird basically beats it. So stupid. And oh, the mass mercenaries are letting this survive for now. Do we have a decent little trade route for Skyfire? Hoplites trying to get in on this, but now we've got the Nidhogg, Breathing Flame on the Hoplites. Wow, that does so much damage if it can get a good splash. Gummidge. We have a... Okay, I mean... Got a Locust. It kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Where's Swiss Boy's? Oh, that's Swiss Boy's gold. I'd rather
Yeah.
Locust have been on the gold. And the
Yeah,
dwarves.
I wonder if he didn't quite have line of sight of that. Yeah, why would you do it on the berries when the Loki has fish? So I'm wondering...
If Aya had gone early chariots and shut down the Loki's gold since he was halfway across the map, I think that could have shifted the game a little bit. But he kind of left the Loki's eco untouched because he was too busy helping.
Then we have Artemis
chariots
is
can
up.
pick off the ox carts and look at
Here
how
comes
far
the second earthquake. Oh man.
snapped from it.
Oh jeez. And that second earthquake completely toppled WKT, and that is the game. You know, I've been there. We've all probably been there. When you start getting earthquakes stacked up on your base, you just can't continue on. And that second earthquake here just absolutely leveled what Ulysses had left. And I guess here's my question to you, RyFang. Given the God matchups, I mean, I don't know if you were able to catch all of the beginning, but like, what could WKT have done differently, do you think, to kind of help this out?
I think the Gaia has to commit to fighting water. Obviously, you've got to put a little like resources into land preparation, or the Loki will just free farm you. And I think you kind of have to have the Egyptian get the Maximin out to help defend. I don't think a Gaia chasing a Loki with a free fish boom is ever going to be a winning matchup. So you've got to find some way to shift that matchup. Otherwise, it's just not going to go well, as we saw here. I mean, it's not easy. Like I'm speaking in hypotheticals, but
right.
As it stands, the Gaia chasing the Loki with the free fish boom is just never going to work out.
Yeah, and I think it does come down to a little bit of positioning too. I mean, having the citizen having to walk all the way here. You'd rather
I conceding water and going a fast heroic to put eco pressure on the Loki would have been better than kind of steelmating water as long as he did.
Maybe, because I mean, the danger here is the Loki, who's hiding all the way in the back. Like, even if you win water, like if you're WKT and you win water here, by the time you hit this fish, it's almost going to be too late anyway, because you're still going to have this happening with the Loki. So yeah, that's something you could consider, or maybe like half fighting it, given the situation they're in, and
And
then
like dock spam massively and try to hold the dock spam and just not kind of overcommit to water. But like you said, you can't really shut down the Loki's fish or food eco quick enough in this matchup. But with a fast heroic with Locust and some chariots, especially with the Loki building forward halfway across the map, maybe you can at least shut down the Loki gold and slow him that way. Because obviously the Loki's what dictated the matchup overall.
Yeah.
So trying to shut him down in some fashion would have been the way to go.
yeah, in the end, it might be a puzzle that's just unsolvable because I feel like just the God matchup was pretty heavily in UCA's favor there.
And again, like you mentioned earlier, the positions compound things, especially
Yeah.
when the Atlantean has to send the equivalent of 3 villagers halfway across the map to dock.
Right. And real quick, if in chat, let me know if the volume between me and RyFang is all right. Let me see if I got you turned all the way up. I think I do. You're at 200%. So it should be okay, but if it's not, give me a holler. Like, Cuddy Danks! Oh, we didn't look. Let's see who our Pharaoh is. It's Kilty! Hey! Kilty was our Pharaoh of the day. She never even died. Look at that. But let's give UCA the win that they deserve. And we are knotted up 1-1. And we will be moving on to WKT's home map. What map do you think they're going to pick? WKT. I think I'll let you answer. What do you think they're going to pick?
Something open, I think, based on how well they did game 1 versus this. So this was, sorry, I missed the beginning of the games. This second game was UCA's map.
Right, correct.
Okay, then yeah, I think they'll go back to something open because obviously they did very well in game 1 and not so well here. So I think based on game 1, they feel like they have the strength in the open map matchup. So it wouldn't be shocking if they went back to that.
I think Frozen Wastes is my guess. Let's find out. Ooh, I missed. Looks like... Oh, I'm wrong. Oh, I'm way wrong. Alfheim. Interesting. Well, let's look at the gods and the players. Skyfire, he still plays. He's a Ranos. He is on a Ranos by trade. Aya is Ra. Aya's Ra is really good. I don't think it was super great last game. But his Ra is fantastic, so that'll be tough. And then we've got another Aranos. We've got Ulysses going Aranos. So Aranos, Ra, Aranos. I think it's pretty clear what the game plan is for them. But before we get into that, let's go into the left. We've got Matrius as his normal Poseidon. Domitas as his normal Hades. And then Nyan Racing Cat has made an appearance. He is Aranos. So we've got Aranos, Ra, Aranos versus Poseidon, Hades, Aranos. All right, RyFang, break this down. What are we going to see?
Shocked that we didn't see a Loki. I mean, the Loki.
Well, it's Alfheim,
dictated the winner of the first. Sorry, what?
It is Alfheim, though.
The hunt's a bit iffy, but still, I mean, the first 2 games, the Loki kind of dictated the game. In both wins, so I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see a Loki, especially when you have Atlanteans in the game.
I think it's probably pretty good that there wasn't a Loki.
Kind of snowballs against Atlanteans potentially once the battle wars come out.
Yeah. Because the hunt here.
That said,
this is the lowest of the low hunt that you can get on Alfheim.
All right, so I guess
it's
the team's lucked out in that they didn't pick Loki. So
2 deer.
Maybe they're just smarter than me.
And it was 3 elk.
But I do like the Atlanteans against the Greeks in this matchup, though. I feel like the Atlanteans with their unit spam, especially on the low hunt and the lowest of low hunt in this version, I feel like the Atlanteans can kind of outspam the Greeks early and get some map control, which might free up Aya to do his boom.
Yeah. So it seems pretty clear to me what WKT's game plan is here is that you'll have your 2 Uranoses doing the early pressure while the Ra does a pretty typical 2TC fast heroic. So obviously that's what WKT is looking for. But this is a significant change from their game 1 win, where it was a high hunt map where they just kind of aggroed and easily won. So kind of surprised to see them go with this, given that their game 1 victory was so easy. Hold on, the wife's giving me orders. What? Hold on, give me a minute. The wife is calling. Give me a minute, I'll be back. A happy wife is a happy life. So, alright. Let's see. People making fun of me. Oh, I did so do the dishes. Alright. Let's get back into this. Let's see. What are we talking about?
I think you were talking about the map choice kind of varying.
Yeah.
The aggressive map they took advantage of in game 1.
Yeah, so kind of surprised, because why not go with what worked? But I think this can work. I mean, you got an Uranos versus a Uranos. That'll kind of, it should, hypothetically, kind of just balance out. But then the question is Hades and Poseidon choices here. How do you think this is going to match up against the other Uranos and then the Ra Boom?
If I'm giving predictions, I probably go above 80% in favor of WKT. I just, especially with the Hades being pocket, I feel like the Uranoses will be able to kind of control the map early and tame the Greeks, and then I think Aya just is gonna free boom and basically be unstoppable.
Yeah, I will say, I mean,
I don't think they can slow Aya at all in this matchup and positioning.
yeah, I mean, I think the only thing they could potentially do is for the double Greek here is maybe punish like the side, but then if you go so aggressive so early, by the time you're actually like really starting to pressure, your Ra is going to be up with Migdal units, and then it's hard to do anything at that point. We've got Skyfire a little out of position here with this villager. Nyan did use a shockwave, and he's gotten the Prometheans punching the oracles. And
that's actually huge. That kind of start can snowball an Atlantean mirror pretty bad, especially if that build ultimately dies, although it got some distance there.
He probably could have path blocked it with one oracle while the other one keeps on hitting it. But that's okay. I mean, to advance a little bit quicker here, I didn't see Skyfire's age up times, but aging up faster in Atlantean mirrors is really important, as we see now that we can't have
Those just 3 oracles are going to have to eventually be killed and dealt with, and those 3 oracles can tilt some of the early fights that are going to follow up here.
The question is,
also still got that one villager out.
yeah,
If that gets caught, that could be even more snowballing.
does he find it though? I don't think Nyan has any
Honestly
idea it's
surprised he
down
hasn't built the
here.
manor to be safe.
Yeah, well, we had a shifting sands. I missed. Where was that? Did he just shift to this town center to take it? I think I saw the sand here. He shifts sands, cows, and Wadget.
Oh, his Wadget, I guess.
Okay. But he didn't take cows, did he? Or did he take... Oh, it looks like he shifted maybe some of Matrius's cows? Because Matrius had a ton more than this. I don't think he shifted his cows to Matrius. I think he... Or his cows to Skyfire. I think he stole some of Matrius's, maybe? Because Matrius, when I checked earlier, had like 12. Which, I don't know. That's a weird shift. I mean... I guess cows are pretty important, though. I mean...
No, especially on a low hunt map like this, and
Yeah.
the Greek needing food, especially the Greek. I like that he stole from Matrius, who's against the Uranus, rather than the Hades, who's the pocket. Because if Eucilides gets pressure on Matrius, he's gonna need food to kind of make units, obviously, and
Yeah.
taking half his potential food with those cows is nice.
Because they
Even just
do...
the Wadget helping defend Skyfire, who is kind of behind to begin with, is also
Yeah.
a nice kind of touch.
And now he can kind of just sit and eat all these cows. Now, does he have husbandry? I know Atlanteans don't like to get husbandry, but he got this many cows, which he doesn't. He doesn't even have any eco upgrades. Now he's getting husbandry. That's pretty good. Now these... Oop, coming in. Yeah, Manor's garrisoning is really good. That's for sure. That is for sure. Got a scout getting attacked here. And yeah, we've got an early second town center by Matrius. Whereas Ulysses is just doing aggressive. And oh, tried to path block. What kind of relic he's got here? Yeah, a bad one. Myth units have more Russian armor. So stupid. We got Nyan kind of running around Skyfire right now. Nyan's behind in score. Not necessarily sure why. It could just be a difference in like relic gatherer. Yeah, I think the relics are making the point difference there. And yeah, Aya is just going with the typical 2TC but boom here. And here comes the rain. A little of Greek hero fight here. And I think this is a good
I'll
fight.
take that for the Atlantean.
Yeah. The centaur gets killed. The hero has to run away.
Especially since it's EE and you can't heal the stupid hero.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, Raptor, you're right. The Myth Unit Crush Armor is probably mostly meant for Titan versus Titan. Because a normal...
Oh, wow. I've never even thought of that.
It saves a few hundred hit points. Like, it's still not a ton, but I guess it's better than nothing.
Probably because I've never seen it actually come into play.
Yeah, no, it does help a little bit. So you see Nyan has made a Kira Ballista here. And has a nice little choke point. So Nyan is going pure ranged units, whereas Skyfire is going with some Remillo. Skyfire could kind of afford it because he's got all these cows. Nyan obviously went for the double counter barracks because of the low hunt. In the end, he never saw this villager on the bottom. And Ulysses has a second town center, building a third. I just randomly building houses. He must be a house like me. Okay, a little shockwave here. Gets a handful of units because of it. And sorry, what were you going to say?
Talking about this unit composition that you have with the Atlantean, normally if you go pure Terma, the Murmillo eventually, especially once they get medium, can just shred through a pure Terma army.
Right.
But what Nyan's doing here that's really good is he's mixing in Ballista to kind of zone out the Murmillo and cancel them. So some like lesser skilled Atlanteans might go all Terma and then kind of get caught by the Murmillo army. But Nyan being smart is in Ballista, which kind of saves them. So that's something that a lot of low-level players wouldn't do and would get caught, but Nyan obviously knows better.
Yeah, and Nyan is a little bit ahead in the town center grabbing. So he's a little bit ahead of Skyfire, which I think is kind of just a long-time result of the early pressure, where it's kind of hard to kind of flip that as just a mirrored Aranos. And we've got
absolutely
Skyfire trying to raid here. Nyan knows it's coming, so he's trying to wall this off, but I think his citizen is pathing there first. But Nyan cuts it off. But we've still got some pressure up here on Matrius, who is also at 3 town centers, along with Ulysses. And we've got Aya now. This is your scary part right here, where Aya has reached heroic age and is now going to start to push out so many units, as we have a shockwave used over here, and Matrius is kind of behind, which I'd say this doesn't surprise me. This picture right here, you would expect the Aranos to be ahead early, and it's the Greek has to win late game.
The Greek needs the food to make the units early, whereas the Atlantean doesn't. And when you have low hunt and then half your cows are stolen, the Atlantean's going to be ahead early. Those Sentinels are a lifesaver, though.
Yeah.
Without those Sentinels, that would be a much uglier situation.
I am a little worried, though, that
interesting.
Domintas is only at 2 town centers.
See where Aya is doubling's interesting. That's the key thing. Which side does Aya go to double?
I think he goes... Well, right now he's at the top. See a citizen building there. Ooh, got it. Oh. Okay, this is... Okay, I understand this locus is because all the farms here and knowing that the Greek needs food. So this is to slow down the Greek...
Yeah, I think that's great value. It killed like 10 farms and get them off the farm. And again, you're trying to, like we saw in game 2 with all the earthquakes on one player, you're kind of trying to snowball and pick on one player and slow him down with the cow steal, and now the locust killing his farms. You're putting red behind twice now.
Yeah. Domitas is going for a 2 town center semi-fast mythic. What do you think of that as the pocket supporting player?
I think Matrius Aya's gonna be booming just as hard, if not harder, and now Aya's also getting involved in the game much sooner in terms of doubling red. So again, no, I think it's really not a good situation for UCA. I think Aya's gonna be doing a lot more damage and getting a lot more value early. Also surprised Nyan kind of fell off. I thought he'd be able to control both town centers with the ballista zoning, but I think Skyfire got some good raids that kind of drew Nyan's army back.
Yeah, Nyan was back.
Skyfire to get his 3rd and map control back.
Yeah, I think what you can do here, if you're the pocket Greek, the only chance you get out of the fast mythic is if you just absolutely destroy like Skyfire right now.
Earthquake, Underworld.
Yes.
And hope Matrius can somehow hold the double.
Okay, we've had Underworld used. Let's pause it real quick. I need to see where it is. Okay, it's in the back here. I mean, would you rather be on this one or the other Aranos?
I feel like I'd rather, I guess, is Nyan heroic yet?
No. Just Aya is. So obviously, we're going to see an Earthquake getting used here. We'll use it. Or is he going to use it on the base? Oh, man, if you use it in the base town center, he's going to stop the age up. Oh, yeah, he's going to. He's going to take this one down with the Heliopolis. But he needs to get line of sight of this. There's 70% left on this age up. And now it's at 80%. I don't know why he's holding on to the Earthquake so long. I think his scout died. And that was what he was going for. Because the scout died here. And so now he isn't going to get the Earthquake in time. Yeah, I don't know why you'd hold on to it.
Yeah, that's huge because the heroic allows Atlantean to pressure a lot more.
But now it comes in.
Defend and kill stuff with the siege, so keeping him in classical would have been huge in terms of preventing him from being able to
Yes.
snowball and defend.
And we have a
push back against
restoration as
Underworld.
well. This is to try to save this attack here. So we see the Pharaoh goes down. But now we've got Aya helping out here. Now Matrius, who was behind.
Got to more than help out. It's Aya's got to kill that. Euclides
Yes.
is not. He's down to TC.
I'm
At
kind
this point, he's not going to be cleaning up. It's got to be Aya who's cleaning it up.
of
Does he have
surprised.
siege anywhere
Yeah,
near? That's
doesn't.
Kinda,
I'm kind of surprised Aya isn't aging up yet. I would think with a Ra Boom you could potentially be aging by now. But I think he's going to defend anyway because that 3 town center is just so strong and he can just funnel in mercenaries forever. As we see, Nyan is still trying to get his town center here. He is aging up quicker than Skyfire, which will probably allow him to re-grab this town center. We see, oh, a little raid up here as well, which is blocking Domitas' 3rd town center. Does kill the Migdol, that's pretty important. But this town center is basically a Migdol anyway.
that TC deny is actually pretty huge because Aya on 3 TCs is going to be able to defend against the 2 TC Underworld push.
Yeah.
Just by
But-
way of having more pop, and then
But you have this.
that's actually really good play by Matrius. Like a lot of players would sit back. You've still got like basic, not even medium units, and kind of just sit around. But going for the TC is huge instead of just sitting around.
Yeah. This is scary. This is scary though. Like this is where I think that you can win with the semi-fast 2-town center mythic, is that you have to just punish an Atlantean, and that's what they're doing right now. We saw a Hyperion get used over here to chaos the Chimera, as we still got more units coming out. But yet,
The lack of nearby siege is hurting Aya, in that he doesn't really have a way to kill the Underworld.
yeah, I kind of feel like Aya should have kind of anticipated this maneuver,
Fast
seeing
mythic tornado to counter
yeah,
it instantly.
because there was no help from Domantas anywhere, and he was still at 2 town centers. I think that move was pretty predictable. I mean, he's going to hold it, but I think it's going to take too long because you've now got Matrius pushing through the top. And we've got Nyan almost in Mythic Age right now. And where does he put the Tartarian gate? Put it on Skyfire? Oh wait, no, Nyan's only 16. I thought he was more than that. He's coming, but not quite up yet. And here comes the siege now. Got a few hits on the Underworld. But yeah, the siege was a little...
He's been on 1 TC a while now, and he's losing Vil still from pick, so
Yeah.
his eco is falling massively behind compared to Matrius, who's on 3 TCs booming. Like, this is going to have impacts long into the game.
Shockwave, he's desperately... Skyfire is desperately trying to keep this town center from going up. I don't think he's going to, though. It's going to go up. Yeah, that's big for Nyan because he's already aging up. EK. And still trying to get this Underworld down. You got this Siege Tower getting some more hits on it. 1,200 hit points. It can be repaired. I mean, Ulysses is still higher score than Matrius at 1 town center, which tells you how far ahead he was on Matrius, but oof, here comes the curse. Now it's not looking good. Anyway, go ahead. What's your thought?
I made those 6 or 7 camels that killed the wall and traded versus a few Hippicon, but that resource would have been half the resources to just jump Mythic faster than Domantas and have that tornado ready to meet the Underworld. And then again, if that tornado comes and Underworld's cleaned up instantly, Ulysses doesn't lose his back TC, he doesn't lose his forward TC, and he just has to defend against the Earthquake, just because Aya chose to make a few units instead of jumping ages. Just that little decision kind of decides the game here.
And here's the Tartarian Gate for Nyan. And I don't...
That does so much damage in the
It
Atlantean
does.
mirror.
And especially, it's on the trade route, too. And that's going to do a ton of damage to Aya. And let's take a look. Skyfire, whoa! He's got 2,000 food, and he just sold a ton of it at a very bad rate, it looks like, because he sold like 1,500 and only got 400 gold. So he's way behind on aging up. That's trouble for WKT. And this, this underworld has been repaired, and Aya is kind of stuck in heroic age at this point. Because, yeah, he hasn't aged up. Yeah, he hasn't. And Matrius is aging up with Artemis, which will probably just be used here. And we're going to have another double Earthquake, which might just finish off a game. And we've got Naya now knocking on the front door because all of a sudden this Tartarian Gate here is so strong. Because Skyfire can't... He couldn't have let it stay up, so he kills it. But at the expense of his forward town center. And then, how does he get it back?
You don't. That's why this match kind of snowballs so drastically. Unless you have your own turret coming, but it doesn't look like that's the case, so he's absolutely going to struggle to get his third back.
Well, man, look at the name of the Pharaoh. Aya's Pharaoh. It's me! As we see the second Earthquake getting used here.
Ah.
Oh, there's the end of that. I think that's game. Right here.
Sillies for the second game in a row facing the double Earthquake.
Yeah, I know. Poor Ulysses, he just gets pounded by it. Oh, man. Shoot. Man, I don't know how... Like, they still haven't dealt with this back yet. I mean,
that's it. The only word. One word to sum up this game is, or I guess it's two words technically, Underworld. That's just the entirety of this game.
Hey, it's one word here. Underworld, all one.
Alright, so I was right in my initial thoughts.
But yeah, we've got Nyan all of a sudden he's what looked like maybe pretty iffy for him while he was trying to get his third town center. Just the advancing up quicker has really switched this whole matchup around for him. And we've got Ulysses at 0 town centers. And finally we have a mythic from Aya at 20 minutes, but that's super slow. And in the end, you may not have been too excited about the semi-fast mythic from the Hades, but it turned the game around.
Well, the problem is if the Underworld gets shut down, then what? The Hades is on
Right.
2 TCs. Stuck in his base with low immobile units, and his teammates, again, Tornado kills Underworld, and then Aya sends camels over to kill Nyan's Ballista, and Yellow's all of a sudden up 4 TCs to 2 on Nyan. The Hades is back in his base doing nothing, and WKT rolls. It's just the decision to make camels instead of jumping mythic kind of backfired on Aya.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the camels is a little bit, because you can do... is a little bit of a bad choice because you can get just as much damage in with chariots in a map like this. Well, why do you need the camels? And chariots, you can still make them and still age up pretty quickly. But yeah, at this point, I don't know where... I mean, shoot. You get Skyfire's base is in shambles. You get... I mean, Ulysses doesn't have a base anymore. And Aya is not able to do what he needs to do, and that's it. GG. So, in the end... WKT...
It never even died!
Unable, it didn't.
How long? How often have you seen an Underworld, like, on a back TC early in a game like that live the entire game? Like,
Yeah.
almost never.
Yeah, usually it gets punished at some point and finally gets destroyed, but... Yeah, see, I think it was just... I mean, you can go all the way back to the map choice, and... If WKT won game 1 so convincingly, why not essentially just pick a variant of that map and just do the same thing? Just run it back again. But yeah, I would say the person, if you're gonna blame a player here, you gotta go with Aya here. And it's not really like a. It's just a
Especially, like you
tactical
pointed
decision.
out, it was predictable. Like the
Right.
Hades did dead set in his base. Like there's no question what the Hades is gonna do.
Right.
And it's a thing that's easily counterable by just one god power. It's not like it was a hard strat to kind of prepare for or deal with. Like it's not like they had like a rain or something to block it so you couldn't tornado it instantly. They had no protection to the tornado shutting that play down.
Yeah, and I know when you're not playing, it's easier to see this, but to me, as like a raw player in this situation, I think what Domantas was doing was pretty predictable. I mean, what else could he have been doing? And like, you always kind of got to play to the point where you want to minimize the biggest weakness of your team, which would be a Earthquake back Underworld against your Uranos allies. So I think as the Ra here, you have to just keep that right in the front of your mind. It's like, this is how I'm going to lose. Or how the team's going to lose, as if my ally gets absolutely pummeled by an Earth Underworld. So yeah, I think you got to predict that. And I think you're right. You mentioned the camels. Just go off the camels and just make chariots. If you're going for raids, you can do just as much damage with the chariots. And Nyan, of course, winning his side also helps as well, since there wasn't like a.
How does Masons and Architects on the Underworld affect Tornado? Does it still kill it?
Yeah,
Masons
because
and Architects.
Yes, I would say with both, because Underworld doesn't have a lot of base hit points. It only has 1,800. So you can see even with Masons and Hades, it's still only at 2,500. So I'm pretty sure even with all three upgrades, it would still die. Because that would put it at around 2,900, which is still less than a town center that would kill it. And Boyd, hey! Good to see you in chat. One more game? Maybe two! So that was a game number 3 there. WKT loses. UCA, the Uncrappables, pick up the win. More games, boy. You're right. More games. Let's take a look at the post game and kind of see a little bit what we're looking at. Aya with a huge civilian unit count, but stuck in heroic age for so long.
What was the improvement times? How much quicker was Aya heroic than Demontis?
912 compared to 1015.
Yeah, it's just no. He 100% can get mythic soon enough to deal with that.
Yeah, 1241 to. I mean, even if you make chariots, which you should anyway, you could still make heroic by like 13 and a half, 14 minutes pretty easily. And that's still plenty of time. That's plenty in time to destroy the underworld. And yeah, if he just gets the underworld down right away, I mean, it's not like it's a okay, now they win. Now WKT wins, but they certainly wouldn't have lost so quickly in the fashion that they did. It still would have been hard because Skyfire lost his side anyway. But it would have been so much closer. That's the
play, though. Aya with the Egyptian units has the more mobility or the quicker units versus the Hades, especially with Aya being on 3 TCs and kind of already be forward a bit. So I think Aya can shift to double the Atlantean on the bottom much quicker than the Hades can come to help after the kind of tornado cleans up the underworld. Yeah. So they're in a really good position if that tornado just comes down on that underworld.
Yeah, massive economy for Aya, despite not even having his mythic trade technology. But just
wish you could zoom in a little. I'm curious to see how Usili's eco compared to Matrius.
Not bad.
When,
I mean,
right before the underworld came in. Can you add the
Earthquakes
Demontis,
is
so we can
used
see when
here.
the Underworld. So Underworld came a tad before that. It actually was kind of close. Or wait, add the Demontis so we can see when the Underworld came in.
It doesn't show up on this.
Oh,
Wait, yeah, it
says
does.
age.
Never mind.
Whoops.
Oop, I'm confused. I was looking at the wrong one. It's right here. Underworld is here. Earthquake is here.
Okay, so there was a fairly large gap between Ulysses and Matrius on the Eco before the Underworld.
Yeah, because Underworld is used about here. So yeah, you can see Ulysses was about to take control of his side pretty decently, and then yeah, but it took so long. I mean, this shows you how good a position Ulysses was in. That took that long. Yeah, Boyd, we're going for the Blackadder here. We're gonna analyze the post game more than we actually watch the games. But all right, you're gonna get mad. Got to keep you around. Let's go to game number 4. This will be on Moat, which I'm happy to see. And if you don't know what Moat is, you're about to find out. All right, well, first we'll go through the players. We've got Miracle Man returns in place of Skyfire. Miracle Man is a Ranos. You got Ulysses as a Pocket. He's back to Zeus. And then you've got Aya has moved over to Loki. All right, so this is kind of more what they probably should have done on their home map and then just pick something like Marsh or Tundra. It'd been all right. Then on the top side is our UCA team. We've got Mechanics. I believe that's Blood, isn't it?
I believe, yes, one of the top 5 team game players.
Yes, and he
out
is
there, and possibly the best Loki, who on a map like this is going to play a big factor. So
yes.
If I'm WKT, I'm not happy to see Mechanics on Loki in this match.
He plays a mean Loki, and his Loki will be facing off against Aya. So we'll see who truly is really good in team games. The Pocket player is Nyan Racing Cat, who is switched over to Kronos. And then the top right is Domantas on Hades. So we've got Hades, Kronos, Loki against Zeus, Loki, Uranos. So again, kind of like game 1, it's the same cultures, but we do have some god differences. It's a Zeus instead of a Hades, and then a Uranos instead of a Loki for the bottom. So what do you think of the god matchups here? So
Kronos is the thing that stands out to me. That Deconstruct, I feel like, can kind of potentially shift the game early, but if it doesn't shift the game early, then the Uranos with the slightly better movement speed is kind of going to eventually get the advantage. But that Deconstruct early, if they can get it to snowball, especially against like the Loki and the Loki mirror, could come into play.
yes. Yeah, I mean, because, yeah, that's why you would go Kronos, I would think, is the early pressure. So I'm going to guess that they're probably going to try to pressure somebody pretty heavily, and you would probably go against... I would say the Loki is going to... The Loki is probably going to pressure faster than the Hades, so I would think Nyan's going to go on this side. Now, one thing I'm seeing, or not seeing, is an Aya Doc.
Pink Miracle, no Doc either?
No.
Did they... this game's over?
No, they would have. So what is this map? It's Moat. It's just a newer map that was played a little bit in the Champions League. So I think players have kind of seen it now. And this is a map. Obviously, you can see it's a moat. You got everybody in the middle. You got this thin strip of water around the edge. And then behind that is just kind of some trees and gold mines. And it may come into play. It probably won't. But it's there. But this is a map that was predetermined ahead of time. Like a week ahead of time. So if you're playing this map as Miracle Man and you're like, geez, I never played this map before. What is it? Well, there's no excuse for that. So I would imagine they checked the map. And so this is a conscious decision by them to not go water.
I don't see any situation where the Loki is better off by going pure land against a Loki going water on this map, right?
Right.
I'm not crazy, am I?
I-
It's just basic numbers. The fishing ship Loki is gonna have like 30% more vills and a significantly larger food income, and I just
Right. Now, as Nyan saying in chat, because there is a Chronos, if say Nyan were to go water here, the Chronos would be deconstructing his docks and attacking it with temple units. So
that is a very
that could be why. And I would
point.
agree that for the Loki, it makes more sense because you do have enough hunt on this to make hunting dogs worth it. And hunting dogs versus a fish economy will allow mechanics or will allow Aya to be offensive early. But I don't think there's a reason for Miracle Man also to not go water. Unless he thinks, well, if I go water, I'm going to get attacked anyway. So in the end, they kind of both were maybe scared of getting attacked by Chronos. So neither of them went water, in which case maybe both of them should have. So at least one of them would have it. We see a deconstruct. So instead, Nyan's coming over here, and he's deconstructing the manor, which will force these civilians back, which that's really good because Miracle doesn't have any water.
No fish eco and knocked off food.
Well, he's going to be way behind Domitas. We see a bolt getting used on a Herseer to defend. Herseer wants to stand back, but he keeps coming forward. You don't want to lose him. Oh, no! Oh! You could have killed him. Some troll-on-troll violence here. It's tossing boulders at each other. And mechanics so far not gold blocked. And he's probably not going to get help soon because Nyan is going to the bottom. But yeah, if I'm Domitas here, like, I can almost do whatever I want because I got fish. My opponent has been pushed into his... Yeah, his fish boom is great. And his opponent has been pushed completely off of hunt, too. So this is a strong start for UCA. And maybe it is just based on the fear of a Chronos rush on a dock. But I think you gotta still do it. Here comes a few units coming in to help out. And we saw one dwarf go down.
I almost would have liked to see Ucili's go Hoplite Rush on the Loki. If you're gonna be massively behind with two of your teammates not fishing and the other team fish booming, I feel like he
is Hoplite, but he's... Ooh, they fell for the bait.
Having to help his teammate.
Well, but they fell for it, though. They thought that Nyan was going to come down here. Hold on. Minotaurs pushing Minotaurs. But instead, what Nyan did is he shifted one temple and then just shifted it back. So you now kind of have this reinforcements over here that's kind of not needed now. Like, yes, if they were coming up here right now, it could maybe be a different story, but Aya has to fall back already.
Also frees up, knocks Aya back and allows Blood to get his goal going in addition to his fish boom. So he's gonna kind of boom Aya now that the early pressure's off, which Aya had done a good job getting some early pressure and knocking him off gold a bit.
And once per sign kicks in, that is... the economy's become an even bigger difference. And
if you're afraid about the early dock, do you start fishing at this phase of the game, though?
I think you would. Like, why not? Like, yeah, if I'm like Miracle Man or Aya here, I would almost transition. Especially Miracle Man, I feel like. Aya, maybe not, because he's still hunting, and that's really good. But
I've only seen this map a few times, but I swear every time I have seen it, nobody makes like a single arrow ship for something. It's like almost like there's a truce.
A nice little surround over here. And oh wait, that's Yeah, oof. See, now Ulysses is way forward by
Why did he go back
himself.
in?
Yeah, why did he go back in? Like, he's not winning this fight, like, at all. And
Could have gotten
that's...
away with the third of the damage.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not a good loss there. And then Miracle Man, because he got pushed back so early, he's late to give any reinforcements. And now, yeah, you have Ulysses' army that's just kind of out of position. And Aya now has to be all the way back in his base. And this temple is being so annoying. There's more hunt down here. I mean, Moat does have a decent amount of hunt. I mean, you've got a lot of boar that spawn along the edge. So Aya can hunt for a while. But this army... I mean, Domitas is just in such a good spot. And you got pure hoplites.
Look at how many fish he has. How many docks does Domantas have?
He probably should build another one. I think he's got 1, 2, he's got 4 docks, but probably should build another one down here.
I guess he hasn't been docking that much, but...
Oh, Mechanics trying to get some building blocks in, but still, again...
I love it. Medium infantry, archers, and cavalry at the same time.
Yeah, look at all these coming in. Oh, here's a building block, and yeah, these hoplites are taking a ton of damage retreating here. And they should have just finished killing the building, and now they'll run away. I don't know why the hoplites are in with the slower heroes. Okay, now we finally separated them, but this has been a lot of resources put into hoplites, and all they've done is run up here and now run back to the base, losing a lot in them during that whole process. So I'm pretty worried about WKT right now. Yeah, is grabbing a town center. This is spied, so they know what's happening. And I don't... What do we got? 16 versus 10, 11, 12. Yeah, this is going to be prevented. This is big. And here, yeah, these hoplites. Ooh, he tried to do a building block, did Miracle Man. That didn't work. And yeah, now this town center is stopped. We did have a iron jar. Oh, now we've got an iron jar over here on the other side. So we've got a whole lot of Herseers fighting each other and spawning myth units, and you have a restoration used on the right and another restoration. So both teams use a restoration over here. This is a 2-on-1, which is forcing Domitas back, and in the end this fight is still going on, and somehow Aya wins this fight even though he was down by like 4 or 5 Herseer to start it off. So maybe he got a little bit of
reinforcement distance, I think.
right. And maybe that first initial iron jar spawn, which came in earlier, maybe helped out. But with Nyan showing up, he still has to run away. And look at this field of Herseers that just fell. And the problem, though, is, again, because Aya doesn't have hunt, any trade like this...
If you go to post-game real quick, what's the food difference between Aya and Blood?
Yeah.
You just go to economy tab.
Well, yeah, I could do that, but let's do this instead. It's food difference. We can see that Aya is 1,400 below right now. That's a lot.
And a Loki mirror, yeah, that's
yeah.
insane.
And here come the hoplites. It looks like they're coming in for a town center raid. This is up 41% Bragi.
You need resto for that, though.
You do. I mean, they are fully...
If he can snipe the heroic timing, that would be huge.
It would be. Oh, he's getting distracted by the army.
Just go for it.
Oh, man. He got distracted by the army. Now he's running. Yeah, I mean, he probably could have killed the town center.
I think that would have been worth it to just tower dive the TC. And then, I guess, if I could have followed it up, although he's not really in a position to follow it up. But
I don't think it would have been worth it anyway. I think it's too late. Because you've got Nyan coming in, and you had the tower upgrade showing up. I mean, he probably would have killed the town center, but it would have been at the cost of likely almost all of his hoplites, which in the end wouldn't have been worth
But
it.
it slows down the Loki, though. It slows
It
down
does.
the heroic timing.
It does. A little bit of a raid back here on Aya's back. Gold, as we see Mechanics is now using that flaming weapons that he was able to get. And this could be him cleaning up on all the gold. And again, once you start that Loki landslide, it's hard to stop it. And the dwarf
landslide started 10 seconds into the game when one Loki built the dock and the other didn't.
Yeah, and shoot. I mean, this was only just a small portion of Mechanics' army, too. And up here, there's...
oh, the top of his army is chasing the hoplites
Right.
with flaming weapons.
Right.
Well, although I don't think they're doing too
You got all these villagers coming down here for... They're really brave. I mean, this could be a losing fight for Domitas, potentially.
That Greek death ball stands up to Atlantean pretty well, especially when he's, 3 TCs, just 2 on pop, and has all that fish boom to kind of support the death ball.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got enough. There's a
Other
big
thing,
shockwave,
when you throw
though.
Vills into the fight building the TC, they tank some damage, which just kind of further tilts the fight in your favor.
Yeah, you can see these Vermilla are just chasing villagers and just dying.
Exactly, that's 4 Murmel out of the fight, a Promethean attacking the TC, so that's...
You got a big fight up here.
Of the fight.
Terma are coming down to get on the Toxotes, and in the end, though, I mean, this town center is up at almost built in. It looks like Red is going to win the fight anyway. Yes, Domitas will end up winning this and get the town center, which puts him ahead 4-2 town centers. And Aya's now way behind. He's not he's still hunting, but no fish. As we see a little bit of a back build from Nyan as well. He's been been really annoying with these back buildings and killing some of Ulysses' random villagers down here who has okay upgrades but nothing great. And we have a underworld that's been used by Ulysses on Nyan's base, with sentinels also used by Domitas to help out. We do have 5 Kiros now.
I honestly would have liked the quick early, like the fast heroic, with Resto saved onto the Loki space. I think that could have been an interesting strat, especially if you caught the Loki on 1 TC still.
Yeah, in the end, this underworld isn't even going to kill one town center, as the Kiros are well positioned to defend this. And Domitas, courtesy of the fish boom, is way ahead. He might have overstretched a little bit to get this town center, though. It looks like Miracle
Where did his
Man...
army go?
Oh, I don't know. It might be coming back. Oh, he's overreacting to this
I was gonna say,
underworld.
there's no way that sized army just disappeared out of thin air.
Oh, he's overreacting to defend the underworld. That's probably not going to do a ton anyway. We do see Herseers in on top of the Kiro, but we need to keep them on the Kiro, though, and not on the Murmillos here, because the Kiro Ballista will do a ton of damage. And Ulysses, like the real hero that he is, ran away back through the underworld. And oh wow, we've got some damage going on down here in Ulysses' base. We've got some Herseer and a mountain giant that spawned. And we do have this town center has fallen for Domitas, because his entire army was away. And just like that, we are going to see a resignation saying, in the end, it was a 3-1. I was right. But UCA, after losing game 1 so quickly and so kind of definitively, they came back and won 3 games in a row, and their 3 wins were pretty easy. So well played to UCA, who advanced to the finals. Huh.
It kind of just came down to tactics. I mean,
Right.
normally you like would hope would be like player skills or somebody outplaying the other, like making just better macro, winning fights or whatever. But it kind of just came down to like small, just strategy decisions, not small strategies, but major, like simple strategy decisions that just were not made correctly on the behalf of
Yeah.
WKT.
Yeah, the only way this can work is if, by this I mean what WKT did, is if they do a heavy rush, which is kind of what Nyan is kind of bringing up in the chat. But then Fernando also says, if they're going to rush, it is still tough because then the Hades can just use a Sentinel over here, which will make it a little bit harder to push. So, yeah, I mean, I think I just don't like the not going fish.
Just double ulf, double dock. It's a big map. It's not like you can get land pressure that quickly on. Just go heavy dock, and again, you're not going to get punished for going heavy dock. Normally, if you over dock, the problem is you'll fall behind on water in the water battle. But on this map, there is no water battle to fall behind on. So, well, normally a Cronus could punish the water significantly. When there's no water battle, like on a map on this, the punishment is just delaying eco. It's not actually knocking you off and costing you water, so there really shouldn't be any reason not to dock.
And yeah, I just don't know. I think you can both dock, because, I mean, if you don't dock, then what we saw there, because they didn't dock, then Nyan can just forward, and he forward shifted on top of Miracle
versus
Man.
A Greek free fish booming is never going to win that matchup.
No.
Like, it's just... I mean, do civilian count between, or I guess Miracle, just do like civilian count between Demontis and I guess
I think the resource count is pretty easy here. I mean, Domitas compared to Miracle Man. I mean, the Atlantean should not be like this. The Atlantean should be ahead. So, yeah, I just think it was a poor idea. I mean, the only way this could work is if they do a full-on fight, like Ulysses could forward build, and they could attack and double mechanics. But he didn't. I mean, he didn't even do that
with the Hades. With the Hades, I don't think that strat even works. If they do
you're
it
right.
Because of the Hades.
I don't think so either, because the fishing just, while yes, if you don't fish at the 5-minute mark, your economy, if you went up hunting dogs, is a little bit better. But after that, the fish boom becomes so much better. So you have that window, as we kind of saw Aya take advantage of early on, where he was all up here. You had that slight window where...
When did Sentinels come in? I'm honestly curious, because Demontis or Mechanics did take a lot of damage early on.
It didn't come in until late, when the Underworld was used.
That was kind of a bit of a misplay on UCA's part then, because Blood lost a few gold villagers early on from the early Aya pressure, which again, the Sentinels could have instantly shut down.
Yeah, could have. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You're right, Valor. I don't know why Miracle wouldn't go water. I mean, I can understand maybe the Loki, but it was weird. It was a strange tactical decision, which, when you're in a game where you have a ton of high-level players, which all of these players are really good, a lot of the team games like this do just come down to just pure tactical errors or misplays, where it's not like, you have a player who's like heavily destroying or outclassing a player. It's just strategy differences or tactical differences. And I think we saw that in the Alfheim game. It's pretty obvious, where it was just tactically outplayed. And here it was just, I won't even really say they were outplayed, was WKT, because I feel like these decisions were just unforced decisions.
The decision not to fish from two players basically just decided the game from the get-go.
Yeah, so it's not even like it was really anything that was forced upon them, as far as like UCA was applying pressure and then you had bad decisions, which that happens. It was just like from 0-0-1 second, it was, well, yeah, I'm not going
actually
water.
almost the opposite. Where I think I kind of outplayed Blood, but obviously with fish being 2,000 difference in the food,
Yeah,
Blood
can't keep up.
won.
Can't keep up. But anyway, that was the series. Well played by both clans. Here we are. Me and RyFang are picking them apart when we didn't even make the playoffs. We could do it. We're old and crotchety. Yeah, I always get entertainment out of that. I'm here to people watching this game. We didn't even make the playoffs, and we're saying what should have happened. But I tell you what, you don't want us watching our own recorded games because it is way too frustrating for us.
See, they make decisions like not doing the right god power timing to like kill the underworld. If you watch us, you'll see like 20 villagers sitting around doing nothing half the game. Houses not getting built. That's like the difference here.
Right. I'll be sitting at 35 pop with like 2,000 resources wondering what the heck is going on. But anyway, yeah, Monday morning quarterbacks. That's what we're best
we don't
at.
let it get to the failing to tornado underworld point. We lose the game much.
Yeah, we lose by then. We lose far by that. Do we test for PEDs in AOM tournaments? Nope. But anything goes. It's all open and available. So now we can confirm that our finals is obviously UCA versus a DOD. And let's take a look at the forums real quick and see if there is any sort of schedule here where Joe says this Sunday won't be possible for us. So not Sunday. So far, it's not even scheduled yet. Well, that's a bit of a bummer.
I guess people have to settle watching us.
Yeah, so the only game I think that is ongoing will be in the League Cup, which is basically a losers bracket to make the losers feel better about themselves by beating other losers. It has Old Boys versus the Dad B team. And we play at 18 GMT on Sunday. So that should be a fun match. Oh, there's the Braun match too. Oh, did that get scheduled? It looks like no. It looks like it's just Aya saying what day can you play. So it's a tough time to be playing team tournaments in the middle of summer. I know some places are still quarantined and such, but other places aren't. So it does make it a little bit tougher. That's kind of the big downfall of Old Boys is our schedules just suck. It was hard to ever get teams to even practice, let alone have a decent team to show up and be ready to play. I have time to play probably one team game. I don't know if you do, RyFang. I'm in a 3v3 right now. I just joined it.
Sure.
And I guess I could stop doing the screen share. You don't need that anymore. Oh, it stopped anyway. Good. All right, we'll play one game. So, T-Mac, you don't have to leave. We'll play one more. And, you got in, and it is now a full game. So we'll have time for one game, then I'll go to bed. Okay, did I miss any comments in the chat? How does Fimble spawn get decided? I'm pretty sure it's just random. And it's random on an unbuilt or fully built town center. If a town center is being built, it can't spawn on that town center. Tip. A little tip for you. Well, Fimble winter's coming. You got resources sitting around. Just put a couple ticks on your two unbuilt town centers, and then only one Fimble winter spawn will show up on your main town center. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's random. I mean, I know when it comes to games like this and the way they use random integers or something, it can sometimes not truly be random. But I believe it's random. What god do you guys want to see? Let's see any other comments. Zion was complaining that he was housed. Ulysses plays slow at tourneys. Well,
He's really good mechanically, but his god power decision making and kind of game decision making can still grow a bit. But mechanically, if you watch him stream, he's definitely
yeah, he's good.
up there.
You keep hearing Aya is good. How come he doesn't play 1v1 tournaments? I mean, there could be a variety of reasons. I haven't ever asked him. But I know there's some
He seems
players.
to come and go randomly. Like he'll be watching streams all night and might pop in for a game or two, but doesn't always play for long extended periods per se. So I don't know what the background on why his play style's like that, but he kind of just pops in and goes and plays a bit, but not an insane amount at the moment.
Yeah, and I will say he's also a player I don't think. There's some people who just don't really care about tournaments as far as like 1v1s. I think Aya is kind of one of those where he maybe just doesn't have the mentality to really want to do it. So they do take work. I mean, to play in tournaments, like for the Champions League, for example. I mean, you got to be available in scheduling for like 6-7 weeks straight, which if all you want to do is just log on and play some games, that probably doesn't really fit with your play style or your mental style, I guess. So yeah, there's some that might be a reason where some people just, even if they're good, just kind of don't want to have to like make the game into work. So they just will show up and play. And what the heck did I just do?
Other thing about this game is unfortunately it just is truly hard to find games a lot of the time. And not just find games, but even quality of games is also kind of an issue. And that because there's a limited player base and ratings to draw on, that the game balance and quality isn't always kind of up to par.
Yeah.
If
If you're bad like me, always find people. I went set because T-Mac, he's been watching all night, and I know YouTube is behind on oh man. Almost lost my villager. You guys can see the game, right? Yeah. Alright, last time I never used vision and it kind of came back to bite me in the butt. Alright, I don't think there's much of a point in... shoot. Who is the pharaoh? My pharaoh is James. Get on that thing. Maybe I should have gone on that elephant there. Yeah, I wasn't moving that villager. No way, no how. Oh, I'm up against 9. Okay, that sucks. Oh, I need to build a house. Do, 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 do. I feel like I'll go up Anubis here. What do you think of that decision?
You do you. Just try to live more than 10 minutes and I'll be happy.
Hey! More than 10 minutes. Ooh, oh, we got Valor on my team. Okay. Whoa, there's his elephant. Oh, come on.
Inito air baya Gregro ia tawit Inito air
In which?
Entio. Nu.
In very fair.
In
Enu
which?
air
Entio.
One
Where do you
villager.
want your trees? Keeping in mind they've got a forest fire.
In which?
Oh, right next to my town center is fine.
In very fair.
In which?
Enu
Gereg. Entio. Nu.
Enu
Wish you would have given it to me sooner.
Urifer. Arc.
Alright.
Urifer. Arc. Gereg. Nu. In which? Nu.
What's this? Girdle. Oh, it's a...
Urifer. Arc.
Greg you refer Enu no Greg
Inage. Arc.
Build.
Urifer. In which? In which? Inage. Erect.
Alright, what is Nyan doing?
Greg I air
Erect. Nu.
Enu refer Tayo you refer
Ayo refer. Enito. Ayo refer.
Oh, come on. How does...
Greg Tayo
Inage. Entio. In which?
Greg no
Greek. Ayo refer.
In which? Inage. Erect.
Oh, don't forget houses. I'll just build them off. What are you doing anyway over there?
Trying to kill Blue's Wadget.
Gereg.
Where did my other elephant go?
Greek. UIR.
Oh, here it is.
Gereg. Entio. Tayo.
Killed Blue's Wadget.
Alright, cool beans.
And we Greek. Ayo refer.
In Gereg.
Ooh. Alright, he's raiding my man. We're there.
UER.
Gary. refer. UER. Into you. EU refer. Gary. UER. Into you. EU refer. Into you. Into you. Into
Aha! Dang, what is this leg anyway?
Yellow has a massive amount of raiding cavalry out.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Get this villager. Alright.
Grig.
These stupid snakes. Dang it, 8 p.m. thing is in the way. I have to close it.
Doing good here. I killed a lot of yellow's units all over the place.
Do you know where any backcon is? Probably not, right?
Not a lot left at the moment.
He's probably taking this, that's what I thought. Ah, shoot. Run! Oop. Shoot it.
Gerek. At you.
Gerek. Ak. Entio. Yawek.
Enrich. Tayo.
Into you. Gerek.
Entire.
Entio.
Dayo. UIR.
Into you. Into you. Into you. Gerek. Into you.
Ayo refer.
Gerek. Gerek. Into you. Into you. Into you. Into you. Into you.
Dayo. UIR. Dayo.
Gerek. Into you.
Oh, that's not a good fight.
Into you.
Dayo.
Into you.
Enito. Ayo refer.
UER. Inirect.
Tayo.
Enito.
Into you.
Dayo.
Gerek. Into
Dayo.
N-E-R.
Greek. Ayo refer.
Dang it, he still has another Valor.
Greek. Ayo refer. Ayo refer. Enito.
U-E-R.
Entio. UER. Yawek. Pro in Yawek. Urifer.
Why are they there?
Gosh, green's just got mannerless vills all over the place.
UER.
Enito. Ayo refer. Ayo refer.
U-E-R. Into you. U-E-R.
Greek. UIR. Ak.
Gerek. Into you.
Enricher.
Into you. Into you.
Oh.
Into you.
And which
Into
UIR.
you. Into you.
Enito. Ayo refer.
Entio.
Gerek. Into you.
Ayo refer. Dayo.
Dang it.
Dayo. Ayo refer.
Into you. Into you. Into you.
Greek.
Gerek.
Dayo. Greek.
UER.
Finito. Tayo.
Dang it, is there any more back hunt? I don't know why my game just keeps freezing.
Ayo refer.
Close this.
And
Greek.
which
Tayo. EU refer.
Green's kinda getting.
Gerek. UER.
Where is Green's army? Oh, it's back there chasing all those.
and Dayo. Enito. Dayo. UIR.
Into you. Into you.
Greek.
Where did yellow's cab go? Oh, they're there.
You're probably gonna have to help out on this side because Green is kind of way behind.
Into you.
Greek. Dayo.
Kind of frosted at the moment. About to turret gate push yellow.
Greek. Tayo.
Enito. UIR.
Into you. Into you. Into you. Into you. Gerek. Into you.
Oh.
Greek. Enito.
Into you. Into you. At you. You refer. At you.
And I refer.
You refer. Into you.
And which.
Inito.
Gary.
You refer.
I've got turret gate. Would that be helpful at all?
You can maybe use it in Nyan's base potentially.
I'll go to the back of Nyan if my turn will make it there, hopefully.
Into you.
I refer. Greek
Yeah, you're gonna have to use it pretty quick here.
You refer.
They're running.
and I refer. Greek I refer.
Great.
I got line of sight here.
Into you. Gary.
Just use it right there.
Into you.
Greek
You roll.
I refer.
Into you.
Gerek.
Into you.
Greek refer.
And into you. Into you.
Tayo I refer.
And
Enito.
and which. Gary. Into you. Into you. Into you. You refer.
And which I refer. Tayo.
Into you. Into you.
And you Gerek. Roll in Yahweh. You
How did they clean it up already?
They had vortex.
Into you.
Oh, cool.
Into you. Into you.
And I Tayo.
Gary.
Gerek. By you.
Greek
Into you. And into you. Into you. You refer. And wedge.
You
Greek I refer.
Into you. Gary.
And
Into you. Into you.
You refer.
Into you.
Yeah, green just got rolled.
Into you.
Are we dead?
You refer. Into you. Into you. Into you. Into you. And into you. Gary. And wedge. And wedge. Into you. Into you.
Enito.
Into you. And you refer. And wedge.
Enito.
I'm in a green's base. Oh,
Into you.
Ragnarok, huh?
Into you.
Are you gonna be able to hold Rag or no?
Gary. You refer.
And you refer. Gerek. By you. You refer.
I gave him 1,000.
And wedge.
Oh shoot, he's probably trying to build that town center, isn't he?
Gerek. Gerek. You
Into you. You refer.
Tayo.
Into you.
I refer.
And
Tayo.
wedge. Into you. Into you.
And which
You refer.
Where the rest of Yellow's army went?
Into you.
and which
Into you.
Tayo. I refer.
Oh, there it is.
Tayo.
Oh shoot, I didn't even get an alert that he vortex to the back.
Greg,
NTU.
Greg,
Does tornado help you anywhere?
Not really. Green just, yeah, hasn't had much all game.
NTU.
Ah, that blue's all over him. Man, game's still lagging.
Gonna try
What are you
to
trying?
kill yellow. Gonna try to finish yellow off.
I'll just tornado the base there, I guess, the town center.
Oh, can you tornado yellow's base?
I will if you give
Hold
me
on.
line to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, get your...
We just have to stop blue from forward building.
It kind of already is. He's still got resources in the back. Dang, I just have no food right now, so I can't afford I can't afford any spearmen. Have the back gold. Oh, there's one there, I guess.
Yellow's down to no TCs. I'm gonna try to start pushing
Man, my game keeps freezing.
here. Try to hold.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. If you could give me food, it would be of benefit to all of us.
I don't have any, sorry.
I don't think I help.
Yeah, it's probably GG.
Probably should have gone up Nephthys since wood is free, and then I'd have 1,000 scorpion men. Kind of hoping I'd get a little more value out of the scarabs. I didn't get any value out of them. They were just they were kind of just a heavy weight. Didn't do a whole lot.
don't know what happened to Green. I know he had his back goal just matterless and got rated off.
Oh, did he? And you paid a lot more
Obviously,
attention than
'cause
I did.
Thundering Hoofs rating Cav can outrun anything.
GG, thanks for playing set. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, I always get drawn into, like, I love Sekhmet. Sekhmet has some really good techs, and the Scarab is a pretty decent unit in certain situations. Problem is, Scarabs for set, because that's kind of the point where you're kind of all of a sudden running out of food, like I did. Since, you know, I had Anubis, so then Anubis doesn't give cheaper farms. So, yeah. Yeah, I would have gotten more value out of going up with, oh, what is it? Nephthys. Because I ended up with a ton of wood. Purely rated did okay. I didn't really do enough damage, though. I mean, you can see my economy is absolute crap. Probably could have just grabbed an early second town center. Been okay. Much of a rag did he have? Oh, even that big of a rag?
No.
A 48-ville rag? Jeez, the way damage it looked like it was 148.
Green literally had nothing. I don't know if he just didn't protect his gold and then just got gold starved and therefore had no military, but yeah.
Hey, he had a worse economy than me. I like it. Oh, yeah, Green had no gold. Oh, man.
Don't know how you don't manner your gold.
Yes. If you're an Aranos player and you're watching, always have a manor next to your villagers, particularly gold villagers. Even if you've already at max manors, guess what? Just delete it and rebuild it. The 90 resources or whatever it is could save a whole lot more than 90. But their Egyptian player played pretty decent, I think.
He just free boomed.
Yeah.
I don't know what Green's early pressure was.
He kind of ran around. He went on my side for a little bit. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. That was the game. I might play tomorrow night, maybe. We'll see. But I gotta go to bed because I got kids and they're wild. They wake up early. So thanks for watching, everybody. RyFang, thanks for playing and casting the games along with me. And I'll catch everybody another time. I hope you guys are having a great week. And happy birthday, America, almost.
Oh, are you playing on Sunday?
I should be, yeah.
Is confirmed to have made it.
I think I'll be there.